This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by All Star Vacation Homes. And if you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World and want a little extra space, want to have your own kitchen, your own private pool, and not have to worry about other people coming in your pool, other than unless you invite Mike Newell, then he'll be there. But otherwise, no one else joins your pool. It's your own private pool. And they have a lot of other great amenities, like your own private movie theater, master bedrooms for everybody. It's great. Why not give them a try? Visit them online at www.allstarvacationhome.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Friday, March 27th, 2009, and this is episode 544 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hodge from StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is the Rock of Gibraltar of this show. It's Len Testa, co-author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Len, I never thought I would be commending you for showing up to episodes consistently.
and if I understand correctly, Mike Newell can edit this out, but I think you just compared me to The Rock. That's awesome.
Yeah, very good.
Mike, Newell, you'll edit out the whole Gibraltar part, because let's face it, nobody knows where Gibraltar is anyway. I think it's in Illinois, right?
Actually, Kentucky. Also,
I'm arching my eyebrow right now.
Also joining us on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse Radio. And Mike, I happened to read on your Facebook the other day that your favorite book, your top 5 books are the 2009 Unofficial Guide, the 2008 Unofficial Guide, the 2007 Unofficial Guide, 2006 Unofficial Guide, and Tom Sawyer.
I'm a big fan of the classics. That's all I can say.
I posted on his Facebook page. I'm like, yeah, but Mark Twain wasn't even his real name.
That was a classic.
Who's this Sillinger character anyway?
Also joining us on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for AllEars.net. Welcome, Mike.
One of these days, I gotta thank Brer Fox and Brer Bear for flaying me back home to my briar patch.
Well, this is a real head scratcher. Take your time, boys.
Muppets?
Wait, it's on the tip of my...
TTA?
That was all. It's all for you, Len, honey.
Splashocular?
Thanks.
Good old Splash Mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we get started today, Len has a quick update on crowds. Len?
So, one of the things we've been monitoring for the last couple of weeks is crowd levels around spring break and Easter for Disney, and it turns out we've been under-predicting on the crowd calendar by anywhere from 1 to 3 points, meaning that the stuff that we had were for 5s and 6s could be anywhere from 8s and 9s.
Fire Hazelton!
Yeah, no, actually we don't fire Fred. So here's the thing: one of the things that goes into the crowd calendar is Disney park hours, and another component of the secret sauce, Fred's secret sauce that makes up the crowd calendar is the number of SpectraMagic parades. It turns out that the number of SpectraMagic parades in any given day and week is a really good indicator of what the crowds are. And it turns out that Disney had also set the park hours too low months ago when they were forecasting what crowds would be. That's kind of surprising because Disney should know better than that. So for the last week or so, they've been actually keeping the Magic Kingdom open much later than normal and running more SpectraMagic parades than they had announced. So I think they had... was it yesterday? They had 0 originally forecasted, and then they decided to run 2, which tells you that they've severely underestimated crowds. If we go back and we plug the latest Magic Kingdom hours and the latest Magic Kingdom SpectraMagics into the model that we use, we would have been completely accurate with the predictions. So we're hoping Disney gets the message after this week and starts reevaluating park hours. Between now and then, what we're going to do, we're going to go back and start looking at last year's park hours and comparing them with this year's park hours to make sure that Disney isn't under forecasting anything as well. So that's how we're going to handle this thing going forward until we think Disney's got a handle on their own attendance numbers. Anyway, that's that.
Cool. Well, on today's show, we're going to be talking about the Hoop-Dee-Doo musical review, which myself, Mr. Newell, and Len just recently experienced, and Mike Scopa, as on previous shows, has mentioned that he's experienced it quite a few times. So, Len, before we get started, for those who are completely unfamiliar with what Hoop-Dee-Doo is, it's a dinner show at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. Why don't you explain to our listeners in like the 30-second description, if you will, of Hoop-Dee-Doo?
Give us the elevated speech.
So Hoop-Dee-Doo is a live entertainment, singing, dancing, joke-telling extravaganza. So it's supposed to be like, I guess, the old vaudeville routines. They've got live piano players, live banjo players, and they've got a cast of, around 6 people? telling
Yes.
jokes, singing songs, telling stories, things like that. And it's all done. It's sort of like dinner theater. It's all done while you're being fed meals. So all of the tables have really good views of the or decent views of the stage. The food's not bad, and it lasts, what is it, about 2 hours?
Not even.
Yeah, an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
About 2 hours. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm looking over.
So it's typically done in the evening. So I think it's the seatings are what, 5:30,
5, 7:15, and 9:30
7.
p.m.
5, 7:15, 9:30, right? So 3 seatings a night. Tickets are in the $50 per person range. Relatively difficult to get into. Want to make sure that you have reservations ahead of time.
Yeah, there's 3 categories of seating. Category 1, 2, and 3. Category 1 is $59.99, including tax and gratuity. Category 2 is $54.99, and Category 3 is $50.99. Those are prices for adults. We should mention the 9:30 show does have discounts for anybody. DVC, Tables in Wonderland, annual pass holders, I think, even get a discount on that show. So that one does get a slight discount to them. And the difference between the categories is Category 1 is the show is in your lap. You're in the tables that are very close to the stage. Often the performers will come out and be among you. So that can be good or bad depending on your perspective. Category 2 is a little bit further back. It's like basically Category 1, if you're familiar with Broadway, I would probably characterize it as like orchestra seating. Whereas Category 2, you're a little farther back. And Category 3, I don't like at all. I mean, it's on the second level. And it's like it's good for the Mike Newells of the world who want to see the show from afar and have absolutely no chance of being part of the show. So with that being said, first of all, Milan, you mentioned the food. It's all you can eat. Usually,
It's sort of family style. That's right. So
Yes.
think pewter plates and silverware, and drinking drinks from mason jars with handles. Now, I don't know about you guys, but every time I drink something from a mason jar, it could be used as lighter fluid. But I live in the South, so it's all cool.
well, it just reminds Scopa of his teenage years, anyway.
Exactly. When he was teaching the masons how to actually make the jars, blowing glass himself.
Good times.
Sounds good.
If you're going for the whole hoop-de-doo thing, I don't go for the food. I'm not a big fan of it. I mean,
Usually, so yeah, that's the thing. I mean, dinner theater is usually neither very good dinner or very good theater.
yeah.
it's like okay, it's better than,
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
there's fried chicken, barbecued pork ribs, mashed potatoes, baked beans. None of that really does anything for me, to be honest with you. The salad I thought was actually pretty good, and it comes with actually the best thing I think the whole meal. Newell, I think you'll agree with me.
Yep.
Is the
I know
cornbread.
Yep, I knew you were going to go there. That was great. It really was. And lots of it, too.
I don't normally like cornbread, but I got to tell you that was good. And actually, the salad wasn't bad either. Here's the thing. I had gone with all you guys, and then Josh and Sarah had come too. So it was kind of scary for me to try and get salad from you guys. Like being there's a lot of food going down there.
Yeah. When I go, I load up on the salad, which I think is really good. The cornbread
Salad is good.
and the
was
mashed potatoes are good. But I'm not a big fan of fried chicken, and I don't eat pork ribs. So
I had a piece of the fried chicken, and it was actually, while we're talking about the food, it was very good. But here's the interesting thing: I thought Sarah had the best meal of all of us, both in terms of quantity, in terms of quality, and then in terms of variety. Sarah actually asked for a special meal, and Matt, I think you did too, right?
Yes,
You're a pain in the ass.
that's right. Well, we asked.
Sarah's dietary. You're just a pain in the ass. So.
Well, yeah, we asked our waiters. We said I don't eat pork ribs for it's on my diet for dietary restrictions. So I asked to speak to the chef, and he came over and he offered me a number of. I got actually a pasta with sausage, which was nothing special. It was just better. And Sarah got salmon.
Sarah got 2 huge salmon fillets, and then some really well prepared green beans. I mean, normally it definitely wasn't green beans from a can. They were fresh, and they were a deep green, but they were perfectly cooked too. And she got just a ton of food, and the salmon I think she ate all the salmon, which was surprising because Sarah's a tiny girl.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of the food?
Yeah, well, it was okay. It wasn't the best food I've ever had. I think it was lower than what we've usually get at Trail's End. I was looking forward to the food a little more because to me it was another night out at Trail's End just with a show, but the food wasn't just as good as that. I've had better meals at Trail's End on its own.
Trail's End is definitely better. I thought the chicken was pretty good. I didn't try the ribs because I'm not a huge fan of ribs.
Yeah. We should mention though that included with Hoop-de-Doo is all you can drink beer and wine.
And sangria, right?
Yeah, and sangria. I was not impressed by the wine. The beer is Bud Light, so it is what it is. But then again, you can drink as much of it as you want. So you could, considering how much Disney charges for beer, I mean, you can almost make up the meal there. Just beer.
G-Man, didn't you like anything?
Well,
it sounded like you didn't like anything.
Well, I think the reason, and we're going to talk about this later, Mike, is I really like the show. I'm not so much a fan of the food over there.
Okay.
What did you? So, Len, you give the food. What would you give it in terms of letter grade?
It's hard to give it anything more than a C plus B minus.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean, it's probably average. If you start talking about for the money, you could definitely do better for the money. And the good thing is it's all you can eat. And since they accommodate special requests, most people can find something that they could like. Kids, there's a special kids menu, right? You can get mac and cheese. You can get other things.
Yep.
The thing I would say is if you look at the menu and you don't like what you see, definitely ask for a special meal, because they'll do it and the quality of the food might be better than what you would normally get. I didn't know I could have ordered the salmon and the green beans. I totally would have done that, and I think that would definitely have increased my enjoyment of the evening.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the show. As Len talked about on top of the show, I mean, it's a stage show, and you've got it's old-fashioned country singers and dancers. They feature a lot of corny jokes. I mean, Scopa would have been. I'm sure you love this thing. You're probably writing down good material, right, the whole time.
Who do you think wrote them?
Exactly.
Singing, dancing. I think vaudeville is a great way of putting it, Len. I thought.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's Scopa. What's your thoughts on the show?
Well, I think that it's pure Disney. I think that the overall theme is that it's a Disney dinner theater, so it's going to be clean fun and it's going to be corny fun. I think that the quality of the show, as it should be, is not the material. The material is the same, regardless of whether you've seen Hoop-Dee-Doo in the 80s, 90s, or within the last 2 weeks. The script is the same. But what makes the show are the performers, and if you get a good crew up there, if you get a real good ensemble, then you're really going to enjoy it. If you get an ensemble that really doesn't work well together, then you're not going to enjoy the show.
Yeah, the one of the things that I like about it is the entertainment can work on two levels here. I mean, for kids, I think it's just there's such goofy things going on. And I think kids will enjoy it for that way. But I do think that the humor that they employ in the show works on an adult level as well, in terms of it's kind of the innuendos and what's not said really. And Newell, what was your thought on the show?
Not knowing anything about it, I'd heard about it. I was cringing throughout the show that they were going to actually call on me. and Matt had this little, because we spent the whole day together, so he had this little grin like he was up to something.
Oh, you and Matt spent the whole day together?
Shut up. He had this little grin like he was up to something, and I would have sworn he made a call. Are you done?
No.
There wasn't something there that wasn't there before.
The show was so much easier to do. As you were saying, Mike.
Are you guys done? I'm going to go away for 2 more weeks, I think. I'm going to let them finish.
Go along, Chip. Awesome.
Mama, what, Mama? Never mind you.
Yes, Newell.
Okay. I saw that Matt was up to something, and he made a
ahead.
call, and he knew somebody in the cast, and they were going to pick on me, so I made sure I changed my clothes before I went so that I had no distinguishing marks on me. And it turned out that I didn't get picked at all.
Yeah, the highlight of the show really is the last skit over there where they take people from the audience, and I've seen Hoop-Dee-Doo twice, and I've been picked twice, and for the same role. I'm pretty sure I've been typecast in this show at this point. If you've seen the show, I've been the Indian Brave. I don't want to give away too much here.
I just think the blonde liked you a lot. That's all.
Yeah, that must be it.
The performers were really good, though. I mean, it was as musicals go, it was a really good show. They had nice singing, dancing. I mean, the whole, as far as shows go, it was a good stage show.
Absolutely. I agree. I really think that, Mike had said, Scopa was talking, Matt, you really didn't like the food, and that's true. When I go to Hoop-Dee-Doo, I go there for the entertainment. The show is really top-notch. I really do think that despite the bad food, not that great food, let's put it that way. The show is still worth absolutely going to see, especially if you've never seen it before. It's fun. And Mike Scopa, I think you mentioned something in previous shows that you really think Hoop-Dee-Doo is great for larger parties.
Yes, I went to Hoop-Dee-Doo with a party of 18 back in 1992, and they called it my birthday bash. I actually went there on my birthday, and they dragged me up on stage, and I too was the Indian Brave. But it was very enjoyable. Yeah, it was very enjoyable. With everybody there, when you have a large crowd, there's a lot of kidding around, and you just tend to feed off of everyone, and it's much more enjoyable. It's one of the problems, though, Matt, is if you have a large crowd like that, it's very hard to get a good table. We had a table off to the side.
Yeah, I mean, certainly where you are. That's why, again, I really like the Category 1 seating. Category 2, it's only $5 difference. It really doesn't seem to me that it's that much big of a deal to upgrade to that. And like I said, Category 3, you're upstairs. But like I said, then again, even for Category 1, which is the most expensive, if you go to the 9:30 show, you'll be able to get a discount on something over there. I mean, it seems like they'll give you a discount for almost anything. And if it's, so I'm sure most of our listeners either have an annual pass, DVC, or what did I miss here? Tables in Wonderland. So you can bring the price down considerably in that case. And I've seen the show at 9:30, and I've seen the show. We did the 5 o'clock show, and both times I think they were both very good. I really like it. Len, what are your overall thoughts on the show looking back on it?
I think it's fun to do on a special occasion. Remember during the show they called out, or they focused on people who had birthdays or anniversaries or were celebrating other special events.
Yes.
If you're doing that, I think it'd be fun, especially if it's for kids or something like that. It's I think of the dinner shows that I've seen, it's definitely better than the Aloha dinner show. I think it's more intimate and there's more audience participation, which I think is great. And I thought the food was better too. That could be because, to Newell's point earlier, that you're real close to Trails End. I think it's better than it's better than Spirit of Aloha. I'd give it a again C+, B-.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I mean, like the show, definitely make reservations, as Len said, in advance.
Definitely make reservations. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think ideally, if you could time it somehow so that like you're in the Magic Kingdom that day, because getting to Fort Wilderness is always a pain. I mean, if you're going to take a even bus, whether it be internal and drive yourself, you got to give yourself like an hour to get there.
Right.
So if you can time it so that you can go to the Magic Kingdom in the daytime and then take a boat over, I mean, that's probably going to be the fastest way to do that. So keep that in mind. Great. Well, that does it for us today. Again, this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by All Star Vacation Home, and it's not quite Hoop-Dee-Doo, but you do have a full kitchen at your All-Star Vacation Home, and you can make all the food that they have at Hoop-Dee-Doo, and even more. I mean, you can really go crazy with the type of food they have over there. A lot of units also have barbecue, so you can barbecue outside, maybe right by the pool. I know that Newell and I did that one time, and it was a lot of fun. So these are just some of the great amenities you get with an All-Star Vacation Home for a fraction of the cost of trying to fit that many people into similar accommodations at Walt Disney World. Why not give them a try? Visit them online at allstarvacationhome.com. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the WDW Today website at wdwtoday.com. Don't forget, this Sunday, March 29th, is our live show, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. All the details on the live show will be at wdwtoday.com. Looking forward to talking to you all then. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.